Today we want to learn a lot of new things in Adobe Illustrator. We're going to learn the pencil tool and the brush tool first. First we want to use the pencil tool. I need to make sure I have it on a fill of empty and a stroke of 1. And down here at the bottom I want to add some lines. Once I select the pencil tool, I can double click on it for the fidelity options. And this will allow me if I want to make it smooth or a lot more accurate. For now, we're just going to leave it in the middle, but you may need to know that on your exam. So I'm going to make 5 different lines. If you notice, make sure they're not perfectly straight because this is for an insect, so an insect will not have perfect little lines here. There we go. Next we want to use the brush tool and we want to change the type over here to charcoal feather. Now for this we're only going to draw one antenna and then we're going to work on how to duplicate and flip. Okay, so I have my little antenna there. If I want to, I can select it with the black arrow. I have my bounding box, so if I need to, I can go in and rotate it a little bit if needed. Now to duplicate this, I can simply click on my item, hold the Alt key down as a shortcut to duplicate, and let go. Now when I have this one selected, I can go to my Properties panel, and I can choose Flip Horizontal. And now I have both of the antennas. Click and drag to select the entire butterfly. I'm going to drag that to this artboard over here and rotate it just a little bit. To get to my artboard options, I'm going to go to Window, Artboards. I want to delete the first 2 artboards. So my artboard is selected and I can click the trash can to delete. I'm going to select the one that says Draw Butterfly and delete. For this one, I want to duplicate this. So I'm going to look at my artboard options and choose Duplicate. I think we can do a maximum of 4. You can try an extra one, but I think we can have a total of 5. Next, and make sure you don't forget this step, we need to group each artboard to itself. So I just zoomed out there. So I'm going to select the entire artboard. And then I can also right click and group. Okay, so make sure you don't forget this step. We're going to have to do this. There we are under our quick actions. We're going to have to do this for all of our artboards. We're not going to change artboard 1. Because that's going to be our original, and then we're going to go and learn how to individually. So I'm going to select my second one, and we're going to go to Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork. If you remember our complementary colors, so these live across the street from each other. Okay, so if I have this on an orange, then across the street we have kind of a blue, so these are somewhat complementary colors that really go good together. And then all I have to do is click on the next artboard, Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork, and I can spin this around. So make sure you kind of have like 3 or 4 very different items. Now when we get ready to do this one, we are going to go in and ungroup this one. So I'm going to select this, Edit, Edit Colors, Recolor Artwork. So by default, these are linked. So I'm going to unlink the Harmony colors, and then that will allow me to go in and recolor each of my items. So if I notice this here is kind of like the bottom, so maybe that part I want to make green for there. I've got the blue, so maybe I want to do maybe some blue, more pink colors in there. Okay, and this one here is the border. I can also go over here with the prominent colors, and I can click and drag if I want to make one color more prominent than another. So on the last one, edit color, recolor artwork. But this time for the color library, I'm going to go in and try celebration. Okay, so now I'm going to go in and then ungroup these. So as you can see, so these have more very standard colors to choose from. But then we know that these kind of already go together in this particular plant. Or I could go to the color library. I can look at art history and look at some of the different color theories that you may have learned in a separate art class. Here's a pop art that kind of makes me think of Andy Warhol and some of his effects. Okay. Lastly, we want to learn how to arrange our artboards. Now we want to do our artboard options. Window, artboards. And I want to rearrange them. So I'm going to click the bottom left corner, rearrange all artboards. My directions say to place this in 2 columns with a spacing of 2 inches in between, and I can click OK. And this is how our artboard has been arranged. So again, remember there's 2 different ways that we can export this. If we do File, Export, Export As, and I just do a JPG, and I do Export, everything will appear on one image. But if I go to File, Export, Export As, and if I choose Use Artboards, I could even give it a range. Maybe I want to export artboards 3 through 5, and I could click Export. And then we can look and see the options. Yeah, so my first export, and for my class, this is the one we're going to turn in. It has all 5 artboards on one graphic. If I do Export by Artboards, we can see that I have each one of these as a different file. So for this assignment as your teacher, I don't want to grade 5 items. I just want to see one picture that has all of that on there. Thanks for listening to another tutorial and learning how to work with Adobe Illustrator.